because Vaishnavism, generally it is one aspect of Hinduism. That if you talk about Hinduism is very broad, but within that stream, that Vaishnavism is one strand, one aspect. That also in the Hinduism, itself, one supreme being. And what happens is when people say polytheistic, means there are many gods. But in a way, we have these demigods. Even in Christianity also there are many gods. That these angels and all these beings. But in our case, we call as the demigods. They are called devatas. And devatas are all coming from one God. They are expansions. They are empowered individuals who are empowered to perform certain functions. So therefore they are called like demigods. But they are not the same as God. God is one, supreme being. But from him.
Hare Krishna. Srila Shripad Maharaj ki. Srila Shripad Maharaj 18th Tiruvavo Mahamotsav ki. So with the blessings of His Divine Holiness, Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, our beloved Guru Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas, our senior sannyasis, His Holiness Atmanand Swami, His Holiness Bhakti Jivan Swami, and all the other disciples, well-wishers of Srila Shripad Maharaj. We will start today's session. So we will first start with a small class of Maharaj. Actually, it's an interview that Maharaj gave in Radhakund. I'm sure most of us must have already seen and heard, but it's still always good to hear it again and again. And the reason we picked this was because, first of all, the quality of video and audio is quite good. And everybody can, it's a big, large hall here, so sometimes, it helps to have a good quality. So this is very good. And also Maharaj highlights a lot of importance on Radhakund. It's very important for us as disciples to understand this. And after this, we will start the offerings or glorifications. And as and when people start pouring in, we will add the names based on the availability of the people. So let us all fully immerse today in this most auspicious Tirubhav festival, and we all can meditate upon Maharaj so that we can really make progress in our bhakti. And I see that a lot of God brothers and God sisters have come from different parts of the world. Our dear God brothers from Bali are here, famous brothers. And also there are people from other places, from USA and Singapore and Malaysia and all that. So we will begin now with this class of Srila Shripad Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
The monkeys, you be careful, they may come and take your camera.
So first is Vaishnavism, Hinduism.
Yeah. Yeah, you can speak on that. Yeah.
The purpose is to explain one is polytheist and one is monotheist.
Because the polytheist and is actually Vaishnavism. Even in Hinduism also, it is where one can explain that it's monotheistic. Even in because Vaishnavism, generally it is one aspect of Hinduism. That if you talk about Hinduism is very broad, but within that stream, that Vaishnavism is one strand, one aspect. That also in the Hinduism itself, one supreme being. And what happens is when people say polytheistic, means there are many gods. But in a way, we have these demigods. Even in Christianity also there are many gods. That these angels and all these beings. But in our case, we call as demigods. They are called devatas. And devatas are all coming from one God. They are expansions. They are empowered individuals who are empowered to perform certain functions. Therefore they are called like demigods. But they are not the same as God. God is one, Supreme Being. But from Him, many can be generated. But the source is one. Even in Hinduism also. It's not that Vaishnavism only the monotheistic, but it is also, there are many different aspects, but the Supreme Being is one. And from Him, many, expansions and many other empowered personalities can be generated for doing different functions. Therefore, in the eyes of those who are not familiar with its conception, they only think that the Hindus has so many gods, and so therefore they misunderstand. Otherwise, it could be. So that in the world, people think that this Abrahamic, that's religion, that Islam, Christianity, Judaism, but I think that it's only the three monotheistic religion in the world. But that is a misunderstanding. That Hinduism is also actually monotheistic. You accept one God, not Supreme Being, but the Supreme Being has the capacity to expand in many different forms. So, and those could have, God is unlimited, so therefore the expansions also could be unlimited. So, but the conception is that it is one source. So like when Lord Brahma, the first created living being in this universe, his name is the Brahma. When he prayed, he says, Ishvara Parama Krishna. That in the Sanskrit language, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the controller. Ishvara is the supreme Lord. And he is the primeval source. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir, means he is the origin of all origins. Anadir Adir, Govinda. Govinda is the name. It's also called, so God can have different names, but they are the same. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. And he is the primeval cause of all causes. So in this way, that the definition, God's definition is actually available in the Vedic tradition. And so when one studies the theology and also the nature of the Supreme Being from a very elaborate and a very deeper conception of understanding, then one will come to realize that yes, it is correct, that even in Hinduism also, God is one. So in that sense, all the religions of the world have similar, let's say, conception. But it's not only Abrahamic religion is monotheistic, but it's because I think people misunderstand. But this is how we can understand that their aspect is similar. So it's not the Vaishnavism. In Vaishnavism, Vaishnavism means, you see, God, another name is called Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is a supreme person. It's not that God is personal. Personal is another aspect. But behind the impersonal quality of God, there is a personality. Just like, I'm a person. So my voice, or sometimes my energy or my words may be going somewhere, because that words generated from my conception, from my vision. So but that word goes on without my physical presence. So it could be like some kind of a personal energy that's coming out from me. But the person is sitting here. So similarly, God, the Supreme Being, in the Vaishnavism, is known as a supreme, as a personality. He has the qualities of personality. He is also an individual, and he has all the traits of personality that So he has consciousness, and he has willing, feeling, thinking, and all these qualities of personalities.
Hare Krishna. Sorry for the small technical glitch. There's a problem in the laptop. So we are trying to look for another laptop. Chalu ho? Okay.
Beings are individual living beings, but God is one. The Supreme Being is one. So the relationship between God and the individual being, especially in the human form of life, when we have relationship that I like to serve the Lord, I like to become a servant, that all living beings are individual living beings, but God is one. The Supreme Being is one. So the relationship between God and the individual being, especially in the human form of life, when we have relationship that I like to serve the Lord, I like to become a servant of the Lord. So in this way, this kind of relationship, so this is done through a relationship. And so in this relationship is very vast. And according to the guna, means the quality of this individual, and the karma means the activity that the individual is able to perform. So according to that, there are different, let's say, systems of relationship. They call in the form of rasa. Rasa means the mellow, called a transcendental, let's say, mellow, that with that transcendental relationship, one can relish, the sweetness, or the different degrees of sweetness that one can develop with the Supreme Lord connection. So this is the whole realm of bhakti, or the devotional relationship. So this relationship, bhakti, let's say, I find it similar in Christianity. See, Christianity, in some strains of Christianity, especially in the Catholic, this tradition, especially in the, this San Francis of Assisi, and so his work on Christianity has a very close connection with some, let's say, aspects of bhakti, because they relate to the Lord, and in a very humble, in a very, let's say, a state of mind where one is surrendering as 100% to the mercy of the Lord, or in order to serve the Lord, and not asking anything from the Lord, but only begging for the blessing to serve Him. So that, I think, some conception is there in the culture of, I say, in Christianity, in the Assisi, San Francis of Assisi, and very tolerant and very want to become very humble, and with the approach of humility, and there's a prayerful connection with the blessings of the Lord. I'd say some similarities there with this conception. But bhakti, of course, bhakti is in a deeper sense, in a deeper manner. It can go very much further in order to actually understand what is the ultimate perfection of one's life in that relationship, the devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, called Sri Krishna. So this is a very beautiful thing. And so in order to come to that stage, that one requires several steps of personal discipline, and then commitment, very serious commitment, and also the help of a spiritual teacher called the guru, or a spiritual teacher who can guide me and who can engage me in developing that quality. And so in this way, it is in the Vaishnava tradition, it is an absolute necessity that one should be guided by a bona fide teacher coming in the called proper parampara. Parampara means the disciplic succession. In that, so a bona fide teacher who comes from that and say from that recognized tradition. So one must be guided by such an advanced teacher in this spiritual search for knowledge. And an example is that the tradition I follow, is called Brahma, Madhva, Gauriya, Sampradaya. Sampradaya is the same as the Parampara system. So there are four Sampradayas, bona fide Sampradayas, and out of that is a Brahma, Madhva, Gauriya Sampradaya. That you see it's called International Society for Krishna Consciousness, in which I belong. This International Society for Krishna Consciousness belongs to this Sampradaya called the Brahma, Madhva, Gauriya Sampradaya. So you can see that whether someone is bona fide or not, so you can judge you can ask from which Sampradaya you are coming. What is your Sampradaya? So then, but there are many individuals who don't belong to any Sampradaya and just going out of their own, let's say, interests or it may not be bona fide. But if you are looking for a bona fide, it's a line and a source, and you should ask which Sampradaya you belong to or you come from. So in this way, this knowledge must be transmitted from a proper bona fide Sampradaya. And so in this way, one can be connected properly with that proper bona fide source, and then your knowledge is regarded as bona fide. But otherwise, sometimes it may not be bona fide, and sometimes there may be some misunderstanding. So this is another requirement in the Vaishnava tradition. So in this way, Vaishnavism, or to become a Vaishnava, is very important culture in the human form of life. Vaishnava means a person who worships the personal form, the personality form of the Supreme Lord. So is a Vaishnava. And a person who worships Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, is another name of the Supreme Lord. And so a person who worships Lord Vishnu in his personal form can be regarded as a Vaishnava. So these are some of the different aspects of Vaishnava and Vaishnavism.
Maybe we can talk now about Madhurya. Because I read that.
Is this all?
No.
You can say about Radharani's position. So in the Vaishnava tradition, that the Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Well, sometimes he has his internal expansions, internal energy, and Radharani is the supreme internal potency of the Supreme Lord in his lila, his pastime. So therefore you can say that in the Vaishnava tradition, Radharani plays very important role in Krishna lila. But he is actually the internal, she is actually the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. So, so the highest, therefore, form of understanding of the Supreme Lord is actually through the internal potency of Krishna himself. That means to Radharani. So this is called in the Madhurya, is a devotional, loving relationship. The Radharani, the pastimes of Radharani and Krishna, in that connection, So this is called Madhurya Lila. Therefore, in the Vaishnava, you get this devotional ecstasy or this understanding by approaching Radharani, Srimati Radhika, with the pleasant potency of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna himself. And so therefore, right now we are in Radhakund. Radhakund, Radharani is a very wonderful pastime here, and so therefore many Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis, especially during the season, during this very important, wonderful season, come to Radhakund and Samkund to do this special service, Seva, to remember the Radharani's pastimes and to associate with the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis in the holy town. Therefore, this type of lila is the highlights of the Vaishnava tradition. In the Vaishnava culture, these connect the relationship between Srimati Radhika and the Krishna in this very intimate relationship is a very important principle in the Vaishnava theology. And therefore, the Vaishnavas and the Vaishnavis, they try to get this pastime, this lila, enter into their ears or into their thought. So therefore, they all come here and try to remember what Radharani did and what are our activities and how she could produce all these inconceivable Vaishnava and Vaishnavi. So therefore, they enter the transcendental reality. Now people talk about reality, but this type of reality cannot be experienced by ordinary people. But when one enters into the transcendental, this real or transcendental region, then by the blessings of Radharani or Krishna, that one can actually have the experience and the understanding of the existence of this reality. So in this way, in the Vaishnava community, the advanced devotees of the Lord, so therefore they enter into this arena, and then they become completely, they get unlimited, ecstasy and the happiness beyond measure. And so in this way, as they get a glimpse of the transcendental world. And so this is what the Vaishnavas always long for. That then developing called the Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti means pure devotional. It's a relationship, understanding of the Supreme Lord. So in this way, a Vaishnava and Vaishnavi feels that he or she gets the perfection of life. And so this is how the end result of the devotional life. Of course, it's always increasing in the Madhura Ras and in this. So there is no limit. It is unlimited, and so therefore, by developing this the pure devotional culture of this pure devotional service, that one will be able to experience these areas of ecstasy, devotional ecstasy, and then one would be able to experience that as coming to this world, when one gets that type of experience, then one gets fulfillment, and so this is beyond any material conception, and so therefore one gets perfectly happy, is fully joyful, and then there's no in such situation, such an individual is beyond any let's say, material tinge of connection. It's beyond matter. So in this way, the devotional life, when it reaches this highest stage of understanding, then he or she gets this type of experience. Right now we are sitting here in this is called Sri Gopalji Mandir in Radhakon. So this temple was established by the king of Manipur. His name was Chorachan Maharaj. Chorachan Maharaj was, so this temple is about, so it will be around 150 years old, this temple. So traditionally in Manipur, Manipur was a small independent kingdom before 1947. It was a small independent country. But this country was ruled by kings, generations of kings. And our Guru Maharaj Prabhupada says that this Vaishnava kingdom, it's called Vaishnava kingdom, Manipur. So has been existing, since Pandava's time. That was about more than 5,000 years ago. So the generations of kings, they ruled this small kingdom. It's called Himalayan kingdom, because they are end of the Himalayan mountain names. So these kings, so many kings, so they were all Vaishnavas kings. So Vaishnava kings, generally they also followed the Vaishnava philosophy. They worshipped Lord Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and our daily life, day-to-day life, so they always follow this Vaishnava culture, worshipping Lord Krishna. And in day-to-day life, even when they go to the war, to the battlefield, they pray for the blessings of Lord Krishna. So in this way, the small kingdom of Manipur was ruled by generations of kings. So this king, during the early part of the 19th century, he was here. He ruled Manipur. And so when these kings became old, so they either stay in, either spend their last days either in Vrindavan or in Radhakon. Also in Navadip, some of them studied, spend their lives in Navadip. This is in Bengal. But Vrindavan and Radhakon, there were many kings that came to here, and they also built temples. So that they generally spend their last days. They always passed away here in this holy dhams. So in that, so Chorachan Maharaj, so he came here and so he built this temple. And so there's a very interesting story about him. He was a great devotee. And even he said this Radhakund and Shyamkund, the pavements, the parikrama mark, that means when we walk around, he said it was also laid by him, stone, the footwork. And one time, it was noted that one time there was one crocodile in Radhakund in his time. And the crocodile, because this crocodile, what happened was that when the old ladies, because to take a dip in Radhakund is regarded as very holy. So many, you consider there are many old ladies, sometimes young and old, they come and sometimes take a dip. So when some of the old ladies took a dip, so this crocodile was, eating, because therefore the ladies lost their life. And when the king, Chorachan Maharaj, in his time, when he noticed that this crocodile is doing this thing, so he decided that he must kill this crocodile. Yeah, this happened. This is a real story. And so the water was drained out from Radhakund, and then finally, he killed this crocodile by shooting with a gun, because he was a king. And so the Brajavasis means those who are residing in Radhakund area, they are called the Brajavasis. So it is Brajadham, like Vrindavan, Radhakund, is a line of Braja. So these Brajavasis made a protest that it is not this is not an ordinary soul, although it's a crocodile, but this is a great soul. But it is a great offense that to kill, this crocodile. Then the king said, I am born as a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means administrative class. So the duty of the people in the administrative class is to protect the innocent, like the children, the women, the old age, old people. So, but this crocodile is giving trouble to the old ladies and the innocent people. So therefore, as a duty of a king, so I killed him. So that's why the Brajavasis were satisfied. But then he had to do the rituals. So this crocodile was cremated as a great soul, with the proper rituals, Vedic rituals. So being guided by the Brajavasis. In this way, the king performed that the last rite of the crocodile. Here, that was it. So there was it happened here, and he, because of him, and many temples were also there, many Manipuri temples. He became here in Radhakund, and so this way he spent many of his days here in his old days here in Radhakund, and so then it was handed over to different Manipuri communities to look after the temple, and so now at the moment now I am looking after. We want to develop this for so that those who like to come and spend their life in devotional practice. So in the future, we are thinking of having a 24-hour prayer singing. This is a kirtan place. Now that many devotees who come from different parts of India as well as the world, they could spend sometimes a few days to chant. So there will be so after my project in Manipur, that within the next few years, this will be developed, and then it will be a place for everyone to come and chanting and do their devotional life here in Radhakund. Krishna 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 Krishna.
लाइट को चालू. श्रील श्रीपद महाराज की, श्रील श्रीपद महाराज 18 Tirubhav Mahamotsav की. So there was a wonderful short session by Shripad Maharaj on some important take-home messages for Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, where he mentioned clearly that we are the only people who can identify that Lord is a person, God is a person, and then we have a relationship, we have a relationship with God, and then we also do service to the God, and we experience the bliss coming out of that. So that in essence has been very nicely explained by Maharaj in this thing. And then of course he also mentioned about the importance of the Radhakund periphery, the crocodile story, how it was troubling the elderly woman and small children. And as a Kshatriya, the king in charge of the Gopalji Mandir, So Maharaj said Gopalji Mandir is more than 150 years old. So it's so proud to be part of that legacy for all of us. So now we will begin the offerings and glorifications for Sripad Maharaj. And before we do that, there's a very small and important announcement on this auspicious day. Many of you might be knowing about this book, right? The Garland of Instructions. So this is the book which was first released in 2007, was it, or 2008? First time? 14, 10 years back. So now on this auspicious 18th Tirubhav, this book has been re-released. That means the second print. 5,000 copies has been printed by Jivan Mukta Prabhu and his good wife Sachirani Mataji. And the books after printing are made available here. So I will first invite Jivan Mukta Prabhu to maybe tell something what inspired him to do it for the second time. And maybe then everyone who is present here who doesn't have this book can take his copy. And it's for free. Absolutely free. This is a service that Jivan Mukta Prabhu and Sachirani Mataji are doing. Jivan Mukta Prabhu. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Hare Krishna. Basically, we're collecting quotes of our Guru Maharaj. I think we have over a few thousand quotes that we send out to thousands of devotees every day. So these are a selection of those quotes, not thousands, but 108. So it kind of goes through the beginning stage of bhakti towards the ultimate goal. Just so happened that we were coming to India this year, so we thought, let us push to reprint and offer to all the devotees as a gift. So if everyone could get a copy before they go as a gift. Haribol.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Prabhu. And this book, as I understand, has got multiple languages, Prabhu. So English, Hindi, Balinese, Spanish, and so the different languages, Dutch, French, Chinese, Russian, Italiano. So multiple languages, you have 108 instructions. So there is no way you can escape this garland of instructions or golden instructions, as we say. Thank you very much. So now we shall begin the proceedings for the offerings for our dear beloved Guru Maharaj. So may I first invite our dear Vanamali Prabhu, who has come from Manipur. Vanamali Prabhu, can you kindly come and share your offerings? So the speakers can go from here onto the stage, and then there is a asan, can glorify from there. And whoever is desirous of giving his offerings, his or her offerings, can kindly come and give me the name also. So I already have few names. So this glorification will go till around 1:15. Then we'll have Pushpanjali.
Megyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Sakshur Militam Jena Dasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Ti Namine Namashad Bhakta Manay Manipud Bhavayasha Prabhupada Lashadbani Prasarani Natayate Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Ti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasarini Nirvishesha Shanavadi Pashastadi Shatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jidvita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. It is my pleasure to be here to join this 10th Theravada Utsava Srila Maharaj. Last time when I think about in the beginning of this celebration, about maybe about 10, 15 years before, I have narrated how I joined this ISKCON movement. So early in 1977, when I completed my graduation, I was not doing anything. I was just like a village boy. I was not doing anything. Then we met Sripad Maharaj. It was in the evening, and the stars have started appearing in the sky. That time we met him, about some 4 or 5 hours. And Maharaj said, "You see the sky, there are stars there. Even there are living entities. Do you want to know about this?" This was the first thing he told us, in the first beginning. Then we said that now science says that life is only on the earth, not in other planets. Even though they try to find out in Mars and other things, other planets, then say, no, in God's creation, not only in the material world, but in the spiritual world also, there are living entities. Material creation is only 1/4 of the material creation of the Lord. 3/4 of the creation in the spiritual world. He started talking like that. So we are amazed because we are not heard about all these things. Then he also told, if you want to join as devotee, I can make arrangement so that you can just go for training. Then 1977, we started our journey from our village to Bombay. Now it is Mumbai, but it's Bombay at that time. And it was on 16th of June, 1977. I take a long journey, about 4 days. In 1999, it was on Thursday we started our journey, and we reached there on Sunday. That was the first time that we met the devotees, especially foreign devotees. They are a very big body. With tilak, they are going to the Juhu beach to take bath. Maharaj also gave recommendation to our Haridas Maharaj. Haridas. Not Maharaj, just passed away about 2-3 months before, I think. To him and to Amogalela Prabhu, who was the vice president. So through the recommendation of that later we just introduced, we just asking whether we can meet them. Through their recommendation, then one devotee, he just introduced us. He just brought our Amogalela Prabhu, and we are there and started our devotional life. In the beginning, I think now, because ISKCON has grown up so big, devotees are having all these facilities to live a very comfortable life. But when we joined there in 1977, the Bombay temple was inaugurated. We are in the shed. Radharaj was worshipped there. In the front of the temple, on the shed, after the class, then we just serve the devotees. Then cooking was done very far, on the top of the tenants there. And we take prasadam from there, serve the devotees, clean all. In the beginning, it was so hard. we are four. Maharaj sent four of us. Now we are only two in the movement. Two already left. One boy was junior to us. He said that we have been engaged so much, just like a slave, no? It is beyond our, what's called, capacity to do this. So he called his father, and he sent some money, and he was gone there about some 2-3 months after joining as a devotee. We also thought that, okay, we also go, because it was so hard, no? All the work we have to do, it's like cleaning the temple, doing this, all these things, no? Mostly. So we thought that since we have been sent by Maharaj, if we go together, then it will be very much disgrace to Maharaj. That time we call Oja. Oja is very respectable word in Manipur. We said teacher. We are sent by Oja Damodar, and if we go there, then Maharaj's prestige will be, somehow it will be not so good. So we waited for his arrival from USA. But during that time, because we had been trained, no, just to become devotees, no. Then by reading Prabhupada books, Krishna book, during our time, some leisure time, we used to read, and through that we have developed some taste. And we thought that whatever service that we do, it is not for someone's personal thing. It is for the service of the Lord. Then we have developed the love for the Lord. Whatever service they do, suppose cleaning of the what is called the flutes now, in Radha very fruits, then the stick which Krishna used to put his hand like this, no. And even the flower that we plucked, when it is on the ear of Radharani or Krishna, no, or the lotus feet of Krishna, we feel so much pleasure, no. Then Maharaj came, and he was asking, "How are you?" Then we said, actually we wanted him to come, just to go. But now we have developed another taste for service. Service, when do service more, then the pleasure will also be coming more. No? It is very, very pleasurable. Then we just bow down to Maharaj and said that because of Maharaj, we are able to render some service to Srila Prabhupada, to Sri Radha Rasbihari. We are very happy. It was like this, in the beginning of my this devotional life. Then in 1977, I think it is Maharaj, that Prabhupada came from London. Then it was, we went to the railway station to receive, not the railway station, to the airport to receive Prabhupada. Then there was also some, what's called the lift was not working. So many things are there, because in the short time it will not be able to. Then on the very day, Prabhupada's arrival, then, okay, now the time is only 2 minutes, huh? that is not started yet. Then, Prabhupada called us. There was, during when we are doing the Tulsi Puja, then Amabhagala Prabhu came and he said that Prabhupada wanted to see all of you from Manipur. At the time we were 3. So we just met Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's instruction is that Manipur is a land of Vaishnava. And there's connection more than 5,000 years before. So you should try to help Swarup Damodar revive the Vaishnava culture in Manipur. This was the first instruction that we got from Prabhupada. Sometimes our devotees, not knowing how much we have been guided by Sripad Maharaj, they even blame me to be not, he's not a disciple of Bhagavad-Gita Maharaj. We got initiated in 1978. After joining, 1977, June we joined. 1978, we got initiation at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during the Gaur Purnima to our Tamal Krishna Maharaj, my Gurudev, this is also recommended by Sripad Maharaj because we are completely dependent on him. Then in 1979, we got the Brahman initiation. Actually, in 1977, our temple in Manipur started. It is on the December 25. And after inauguration of the temple in Bombay in 1978, January 18th, I think, remember, 14th or 18th, some confusion. After the inauguration, we just came back to Manipur. From that on, we are just, to our little intelligence, we are trying to help Sripad Maharaj. And through his instruction, we have been doing all these things. So, sometimes, now also, because Maharaj is very widely known throughout the world as a scientist, Dr. T.D. Singh. Also in the world is also, the practitioner of Damodar Maharaj, especially in his birthplace in Manipur, because of some this strong influence of the revivalism in Manipur. Revivalism means all Manipuri, earlier there's called Meitei tradition. No? Maharaj, even though he has so many what's called activities done throughout the world, he was not so much appreciated in Manipur. So in this connection, in the 14th of this 2020, this is the 14th Tirobhav Utsav. In connection to that, I have written an article in our local paper telling that, give us some story about Maharaj and said that because we have so many things to tell about Maharaj, but because you have given a very little space, I will not be able to express all these things. You know. Then editor of this newspaper, he is also of that group. No, but he said that we only feel that Maharaj is just like Hindu people, but seeing all these activities that he did so many things, conferences between science and spirituality, and even cultural things, then for the world peace, all these things now, considering it, we should express about Maharaj. Through his instigation, I started writing about Maharaj. From the beginning, this is the first issue came in the newspaper every Sunday now, from 2020. I started from the beginning of Maharaj's birth. No, whatever collection that I have, I can collect from, even from this, today's interview. This is Radhakund 2004, I think, you know. So everything is included in that paper. And from that, I have done up to 170. There was just only 6 of this 2024, 6 of this month. No, this is the last episode. That is 170. No, that I have brought the book. I have not brought here. I have brought. It will be printed, and we are thinking that because for the readers of the in English, this is the Manipuri, but I wanted to translate it so that our Maharaj disciple and this they can also read. This is my humble offering. So please don't think that I am not a disciple of Sripad Maharaj. Even Guru Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he said that you are completely under the care of Sripad Maharaj. I felt a little shocked when I heard that I was not a disciple of Sripad Maharaj. Of course, I did not get initiation from it. But taking initiation doesn't mean that, we have the connection, Sometimes after taking initiation, so many disciples they just discarded. They don't follow all this thing. So please don't mind. Please forgive if I say something wrong. But this is my intention. So please. And also on this 6th of December, I'm trying to inaugurate the temple that it is in his own place, in the birthplace. So if possible, some of our devotees also can come and join it. Definitely, because it will be, we are praying that it will be inaugurated. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Banamali Prabhu ki jai. Banamali Prabhu is doing a lot of work in Manipur, especially in the birthplace of Maharaj. There is a small temple there, which Banamali Prabhu taking initiative to make it big. So now we would like to invite His Grace Panchagoda Prabhu, Temple President ISKCON Vrindavan. And I would request all the speakers from now on to keep it between 6 minutes, because we are behind schedule and we would like to complete everything by 1:15. So kindly keep that in mind, and accordingly you can. There will be a reminder by this through the kartal. I'll make a sound when it is about 5 minutes. And if anyone wants to give the names, please come forward and give the names. From Mataji, I've got only one name so far. So I'm sure many might want to speak also. So please come and give your names.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki. When Srila Prabhupada formed the BI, Bhaktivedanta Institute, he was always very enlivened, always very enthusiastic to speak to Bhakti Swarup Damodar and the scientists, especially in 1975 in particular, and 76. They would ask many, many questions. And Prabhupada was always eager to give them guidance and instructions, and also emphasizing about the planetarium in Mayapur, that the BI will also produce the universe and show everyone the greatness of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a very high level of education, and if you study Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Vedic literature, it's meant to reestablish society in such a way that people think about the purpose and goal of life, and generally they follow the scientists and the leaders. And I saw the enthusiasm that Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj had, even in his kirtan, in his powerful presentations, bringing world-renowned scientists and leaders of society together to discuss the synthesis of science and religion. Prabhupada very much was pushing and encouraging that this should go on. Just like when the library parties teams were going from university to university and when they get the nice reviews from the professors, Prabhupada, keep this. And he would show very prominent people that this is an authentic, scientific based culture. Is something that's very, very logical, reasonable, and scientific. Although Prabhupada was very strongly speaking about those scientists who are atheists, or scientists, by the chance philosophy, chance theory, a chunk exploded, or maybe this, maybe that. Scientists were sometimes protective of other scientists. But he said, no, you just admit what you know, what you've done, how much you understand. But this science of self-realization is coming down in Guru Parampara. Srila Prabhupada is our Acharya, representing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, the Gaudiya Math, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj very keenly and enthusiastically served Srila Prabhupada and carried on the mission of spreading this Krishna consciousness to the scientific world. So by worshiping and honoring those who are serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, who are servants of Srila Prabhupada, this in itself will awaken our love and our own determination to understand more clearly our connection to Krishna. And it's a very, very wonderful day. Maharaj was explaining this morning that appearance days are great, but the disappearance days are a culmination of all the wonderful activities that were performed on behalf of service to the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one can make Srila Prabhupada happy, then their life is perfect. And by making the servant of the servant of the servant, we all get that same mercy. Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. We get that seed of devotion, and our intelligence becomes more fine-tuned because Krishna is in our heart. He's guiding us. And Bhakti Swarup Maharaj, he pleased Srila Prabhupada. He made a great impact on the scientific world. Even I was speaking with Brahmatirtha this summer. They want to do another, international science. He thought about Vrindavan, but then the difficulties of traffic and everything like that, so I think they'll do it in the West. But this is such an important preaching aspect that's meant to help awaken and solidify the authenticity of this Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki Hare Krishna. I think I only did 4 minutes something.
Yeah, thank you very much, Panchagora Prabhu. That was very nice, crisp, and a lot of points came out of it as well. So now, may I invite His Grace Gadagraj Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple. Kindly please come.
Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki jai. My talk is very simple. I just wanted to tell how, like one time I was talking to Swarup Damodar, and he said, "Oh, mostly you can come to Manipur for 5 days. I don't know how many it is now, but he said, I can get you more days." So it was the way he said it. It was so nice the way he treated all the devotees. So one time I went to Bhubaneswar temple, and Maharaj was there. He was alone. He was just in the temple and with his disciple, and he was taking prasad. He had big plates because they always used to give him really nice prasad, cooked in ghee. But I noticed it seemed like nothing was with oil. And so it was the way he said, "Oh, Prabhu, come and sit." And he was taking prasad with his disciple. But just the way he invited, it was just like the ancient Vedic culture. And he said, "Oh, please sit." And they made me a big plate, like this really enormous. It was like Mahaprasad, not just ordinary prasad. It was like 10 or 20 different things. And I don't remember. It's a long time ago. I don't remember even the year. But it was so opulent. It was the way he was. He was so like ancient Vedic culture. I have had trouble to explain it because it was the way it affected me. He was so nice and kind, and he had so much bhakti, and the way he spoke English, and then he would talk about chemistry. I was a chemist, so we would talk about chemistry, and it was very interesting. And then one time we were on a plane together in India, and it just happened. And so his disciples always took very good care of him, and they gave him a whole lot of prasad for the airplane, because he didn't eat that airplane food. Because Prabhupada said, don't eat food on karmi restaurants or airplanes. So he had this big bag of Mahaprasad. So he said, "Oh, you want some prasad?" "Oh, yes, thank you." So he gave me this big samosa, and I ate that. And he said, "You want more?" I said, "Yes." He gave me another one. And he said, "You want more?" I said, "Yes." He kept giving, I kept eating. So it was all different opulent prasad. I could tell it was cooked in ghee. It was really nice. It was just the way he did it. It's hard to explain. Unless it's a great speaker. It was the way he did it. It was so nice. And his special kirtans, like one time in Laguna Beach, that's in California, I guess. The Rangani Ketan was there. And if you all, raise your hand if you've seen this Rangani Ketan. So, I guess there's no more Rangani Ketan, is that right? This thing, can I tell about this Rangani Ketan? It was this performance. First of all, it was a martial arts. They were like really, the Manipuris, they started when they were little babies learning this martial arts. And they were like super martial artists. And they had scimitars and everything. They would fly through the air and fighting. It doesn't happen anymore, this Rangani Ketan? I don't think only true Damodar could do this. He's such a great devotee. And another way, the way he used to sing, he was singing, his kirtans were so nice, the whole ecstatic. And then one time, we were in New York, and they had this Rangani Ketan. Actually, they had it in Los Angeles, they had it in Laguna Beach, they had it in New York, but now it's not. I'm just overwhelmed by emotion because just seeing his video, it brought me back in time to, his association was really special. It's really hard for me to explain. He was such a nice devotee. You know, there's vipralamba from him, this separation is very hard because we need the association of great devotees like him. I guess I'll have to watch his videos, but it ain't the same as in person. Anyway, to me, he just was the Vedic culture personified. To me, it had a special influence on my life. Hare Krishna. And all you Manipuris are very nice, special devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gadagiraj Prabhu. Now we would like to invite Mataji's section, Her Grace Nagapatni Mataji.
Omikadatamandasya Janandana Salakaya Chakso Militanena Tasmai Shigrave Maham. I first met Maharaj when he was a student in Irvine. I was at the Laguna Beach Temple. He came, his friend came first, and then he started coming, and we must have appeared like a ragtag band of neophyte of Vaishnavas, because he was so elegant and obviously understood this philosophy and this process much deeper than any of us had. And shortly, we moved to Los Angeles. They purchased a new temple on Watsika. And he started coming every morning. And that's not an easy drive. It's an hour drive of a lot of traffic in LA to come and walk with Srila Prabhupada on his morning walk. And I would see him, and he was unique in that, he had his saffron dhoti on, and he had an argyle sweater vest over his shirt. So he was like a part Vaishnava and part student. And then they would have these wonderful talks when they would go on the morning walk with Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was grooming him to be this great preacher in the scientific community. And then very often in the morning Bhagavatam class, Srila Prabhupada would always refer to our scientists. He referred to him as our scientist. And it was from there that he blossomed in such a beautiful way to spread this Krishna consciousness to the scientific community. I saw him in 1999 in Berkeley. I went to visit, and he was there. And he was so enthusiastic about having a big Sankirtan party in India at the Century Market, 2000. And so we came to chant, because his kirtans were ecstatic. They were beautiful and they were so pure. So it's very hard, it's very painful when the Guru leaves. When any of the great Vaishnavas leave, it's very painful for all the community. But the only saw to help this pain, the only recourse is to take the teachings and to follow in the footsteps of these great acharyas. And we see this one after the other who leave. It's hard to understand why Krishna takes them away. But we see this, the other devotees, they step up and they take seriously the directions of their master, and they continue on his teachings and his preachings. And in this way, it becomes very sweet. So I thank you all for all the wonderful service you continue to do. Hare Krishna, glories to Swarup Damodar Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Nagapatni Mataji, for glorifying our scientists. In fact, I remember when Maharaj first launched the book, The Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada was ecstatic, and he showed to everyone that my disciple, Swarup Damodar, has written this book, Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness. So I just remembered when she said, our scientist. So nice. So next, we would like to invite His Grace Dinabandha Prabhu to kindly come and say a few words.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki. So I also have fond memories of Maharaj when he was a young student and visiting our temple in Vatseka, and I was just seeing that Prabhupada was so happy and Prabhupada was so pleased with him, because the scientists have destroyed the whole world, that they've said everything is just by chance, it's just a big bang, and you're just, after so many millions of years, somehow a human being came about, and the goal of life is just to enjoy as much as you can, and everybody else is just a bunch of chemicals, so they don't matter. We can bomb them, we can napalm them, we can, slaughter them any way we want, because it doesn't matter. It's just, they've ruined the whole society. And that was one of the main parts of Prabhupada's mission, was to try and smash this scientific idea. Actually, this is not a new thing, but there's a very beautiful poem by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in English. We all know when we had in our grammar class, we had to write a poem, how difficult it was to write in our own language, but to speak of in a foreign language. But he wrote such a beautiful poem. It's called Sahagrahi Vaishnav. You can look it up on the net. Sahagrahi Vaishnav. But there's one verse that describes Bhakti Swarup Damodar's preaching to the scientists. But tell me not in reasoning cold that life was made alone by earth's mechanic lifeless rules and true destruction prone. Huh? Can you imagine writing in a foreign language, perfect rhyme and meter? But tell me not in reasoning cold that life was made alone, by earth's mechanic lifeless rules and to destruction prone. My God who gave his life and all, alone the soul can kill, or give it all the joys above, his promise to fulfill. Huh? So just, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had this idea, and Prabhupada also had this idea, and he finally found somebody who would actually present that idea, and who was very, just like as Nagapatni Mataji explained, he was very cultured, he was from a very nice family, Vaishnava family, and we were all just Kali Yuga rejects, somehow or other. We were like cockroaches, and somehow the light went on and we ran underneath Prabhupada's feet by accident. The light comes and the cockroaches look for some shelter, somehow by accident we got under the lotus feet of Prabhupada. But he was a real Vaishnava. And I enjoyed those walks on the beach, and it was so amazing to watch him, because Prabhupada would be presenting the point of view of the scientists, and Maharaj would be smashing it. It was, astounding to watch, somebody arguing with their spiritual master, but he was training him up. And he gave so much pleasure to Prabhupada because he affected the whole world. I remember when 18 years ago, when his Tirubha was there, from all parts of the world, condolences were coming from big scientists, from big religionists, people all over the world. He was known, he made Prabhupada's message known to people all over the world. Everyone knew him. We may be very famous in ISKCON, but outside of ISKCON, nobody knows who we are. But he infected the whole world, and his disappearance brought the whole world, affected the whole world, because he was trying to smash this scientific crazy idea, cold, reasoning cold. Tell me not a reasoning cold. And he was bringing us to the warm embrace of Krishna. So this pleased Prabhupada immensely. And that is a perfection of life. Sometimes we wonder why, when he was having so much success, Krishna took him away, but as if his work wasn't complete. But that was a complete. If we are able to give all of our life, all of our energy. I saw Maharaj, every atom of his body was meant for the service of Prabhupada. And that's the perfection of life. And Mataji asked, why taken away so early? Because the rest of us, we're so fallen, Prabhupada needs all these big guns up there with him to help pull us back. And now we see every day somebody's getting pulled back, because Prabhupada wants all these big guns to be with him. Because we're so useless and fallen, he's trying to pull us back. So he called them Maharaj and Tamal Krishna and all these very early to help him save the rest of us. So it was so wonderful to see Maharaj in action. I relished those days so much. I was president of Portland. Actually, Portland, we had a very sweet relationship, because somehow Prabhupada named my temple New Manipur in Portland. I don't know, does Manipur rain a lot? Because the only thing I knew about Portland is it rains a lot. But I don't know, does Manipur rain a lot? Nobody can tell. Anyway, he named it New Manipur. So I went to the Manipuri Emporium in Delhi and learned how to speak a little bit of Manipuri. Kanam tu birji, anu naijari. So I'd always greet Maharaj in Manipuri whenever I see him. So he was always very kind, and we had a very sweet relationship together. And like Gadagraj said, that his Rangniketan, that was the most amazing thing. We were so astounded this morning when we saw the Radhasham Sundar all dressed in Manipuri outfits. It was so amazing. We thank all of the wonderful disciples of Maharaj who sponsored this wonderful outfit. It was just so amazing to see that. So in this wonderful day of his rejoining Srila Prabhupada in the spiritual world. We pray that Maharaj will keep his merciful glance upon all of us and take us back to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you very much, Dinavandhu Prabhu. It was my good fortune to be in Portland last week to serve the Bhagavatam class there. I was remembering you at that time. So now we will invite His Grace Radha Vallabh Prabhu.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshundramiritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. आज हम सभी महाराज श्री के भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज के विषय में सुनने और जानने के लिए बैठे हैं। महाराज जी का जीवन बड़ा सदाचार रहा। मैंने महाराज जी का दर्शन बम्बे में 82-83 होगा मैंने किया था। उस समय रसराज प्रभु थे वहाँ पर, महाराज के डिसाइपल वो भी वहाँ पर थे, तो काफ़ी हम महाराज जी के साथ निकट हो गए। थोड़ा सा कीर्तन करने जाता था साथ में और महाराज जी भी अपने स्टाइल में कीर्तन करते थे, बहुत बढ़िया से मस्त होकर कीर्तन करते थे। महाराज चेहरे में नूर था, आवाज में वाणी में आकर्षण था। जब राधा माधव गाते थे महाराज तो झूम करके गाते थे, खूब मस्त होकर के। नाम है प्रभुपाद जी ने दिया है भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज। जीव का स्वरूप है, जीवेद स्वरूप है कृष्ण नित्यदास। महाराज का नाम क्या है? भक्ति स्वरूप, भक्ति के स्वरूप है महाराज। आज जितने हम यहाँ बैठे हैं ये हम सभी महाराज जी के बगीचे हैं, फुलवारी हैं सब। महाराज श्री ने इतना सुंदर प्रचार किया, इतने सिस्टम से प्रचार किया कि महाराज जी से लोग आकर्षित हो जाते थे। और महाराज जी में सिंपलिसिटी बहुत था, विनम्र बहुत थे। भगवान कपिल देव माता देहूति से, माता देहूति ने संतों का लक्षण पूछा है भागवत जी में। उसमें पहला लक्षण पूछे कि संतों का क्या लक्षण है, संत कितने प्रकार के होते हैं। तो भगवान कपिल देव जी संत का लक्षण बता रहे हैं और पहला लक्षण ये बता रहे हैं कि तितिक्षुवा, संत को तितिक्षु होना चाहिए, जो महाराज जी में ऐसा गुण था। सहन शक्ति होना चाहिए। उन दिनों में अपने ISKCON संस्था में उतना धन नहीं था, इतने डिवोटी भी नहीं थे, अभावग्रस्त जीवन रहता था। लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी के जितने, प्रभुपाद जी के जाने के बाद जितने उनके वर्तमान आचार्य हुए, प्रभुपाद जी ने जो बढ़ाया था उसको मेंटेन तो किया ही, उसको होल्ड भी किया और साथ में उसको खूब बढ़ाया। तो आज देखिए भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज का जो स्वरूप है, अपने पढ़ाई का पूरा पूरा उपयोग किया। प्रभुपाद जी चाहते थे कि कोई साइंटिफिक ढंग से भगवान के प्रचार करे, सिस्टम से ऐसा कोई भक्त मिले। भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज जी साइंटिस्ट हैं, और साइंस ने ही काफ़ी लोगों को बदल दिया वहाँ पर। तो महाराज का ये कला था, गुण है महाराज में, और अपने दर्शन से, अपने स्माइल से, अपने भक्ति से महाराज श्री ने बड़ा ही प्रभावित किया लोगों को। ज्ञान और वैराग्य दोनों साथ में। भक्ति के दो पुत्र हैं, एक का नाम है ज्ञान, एक का नाम है वैराग्य। महाराज ने दोनों को संचित किया, दोनों को अपने अंदर रखा। ज्ञान प्रचुर मात्रा में था और वैराग्य वैसा ही था। छोटा शरीर, बहुत मिलजुल करके सबसे रहना, किसी के कंधे पर हाथ रख देना, स्माइल से बात करना, मुस्कुरा करके बात करना, ये संत का लक्षण है। धन न होने के बावजूद भी इतना प्रचार प्रसार करना, कहीं बैठ जाना, कुछ भी खा लेना, और प्रभुपाद जी का जो नियम था उसको बड़े सुंदर ढंग से इन लोगों ने अपने जीवन में उतारा। तो आप सब भी उन्हीं के बगीचे हैं, फूल हैं, ये सभी हरे भरे हैं, उनके शब्दों से प्रफुल्लित हो रहे हैं सभी। आप हम सब बड़े भाग्यशाली हैं कि इस कलयुग में, महान कलह के युग में ऐसे ऐसे संतों का दर्शन हुआ, इन संतों की सेवा करने की मौका मिली, और सबसे सुंदर सेवा मिली कि उनके मुखारबिंद से सुनने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त रहा। जय श्री कृष्ण। श्री प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की, भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज की। हरे कृष्णा। धन्यवाद आप सबका।
थैंक यू वेरी मच राधा वल्लभ प्रभु जी। आपने बहुत सुंदर तरीके से महाराज और प्रभुपाद जी का जो इंटीमेट रिलेशनशिप था आपने समझाया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नाउ वी वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट हिज ग्रेस दधी बख्शी प्रभु, प्लीज। दधी बख्शी प्रभु फ्रॉम ISKCON Juhu, once upon a time, now of course from Vrindavan.
हरे कृष्णा। एक बार जोर से बोल दीजिए, हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम, हरे राम, राम राम, हरे हरे। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद। हिज होलीनेस भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज तिरुभाव तिथि महोत्सव की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सो राधा वल्लभ प्रभु जी ने हिंदी में बताया तो मैं भी हिंदी में बोलूँगा, क्योंकि बहुत सारे भारत है यहाँ उपस्थित है, बैठे हुए हैं। तो एक्चुअली ये भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज प्रभुपाद जी के सबसे प्रिय शिष्यों में से एक है, सबसे श्रेष्ठ वरिष्ठ शिष्यों में से, बड़े साइंटिस्ट है, वैज्ञानिक है। उनने इतना पूरा विश्व भर में साइंटिस्ट वैज्ञानिक का प्रचार किया, लेकिन उसके बाद अहम कुछ नहीं था, मैं वैज्ञानिक हूँ, साइंटिस्ट हूँ, चलो मैं सब। उनको कोई भी मिलना चाहता है इजीली उनसे मिलते थे। मैं 1975 में जब यहाँ वृंदावन में ज्वाइन हुआ तो उस समय मैं नया भक्त था ऑलमोस्ट यहाँ पर। तो प्रभुपाद जी वृंदावन में आते रहते थे। तो उनके साथ साथ जो है भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज, उस समय तो ब्रह्मचारी थे, भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर उनका नाम था, बाद में महाराज बन। तो प्रभुपाद जी जब भी मॉर्निंग वॉक, जब भी क्लास वगैरह जब देते थे, जब सिंहासन में प्रभुपाद जी बैठते थे, जय राधा माधव प्रभुपाद जी जब कंप्लीट होता था, तो उसके बाद जब भक्तेश्वर महाराज को जब प्रभुपाद जी नहीं देखते थे क्लास में, तो हो जाओ साइंटिस्ट कहाँ है हमारा। तो उनको जब महाराज आते थे तो प्रभुपाद जी जो है बहुत प्रसन्न होते थे, प्रभुपाद जी के निकट ही वो बैठते थे, तो प्रभुपाद जी प्रसन्न होते थे कि हाँ और साइंटिस्ट इज हियर। तो इस तरह से तो फिर मेरे भक्तों को पूछा, उसमें मैं यहाँ पुजारी था, तो भक्तों को पूछा पुजारी से कि ये प्रभुपाद जी के साथ इतने ये छोटे से भक्त है, हाँ, तो ये कौन है, इतना घनिष्ठ, इतना निकट चलते हैं, प्रभुपाद जी बार बार उनका नाम लेते हैं। तो मैंने उनको भक्त को पूछा, डिवोटी को, मेरा गुरु भाई से पूछा, तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये मणिपुर के हैं, वो साइंटिस्ट है, वैज्ञानिक है, इसलिए प्रभुपाद जी उनको जो प्यार करते हैं, इसलिए प्रभुपाद जी उनको हर समय साथ में बुलाते रहते हैं। तो इस तरह से तो जब भक्त ने मेरे को बताया तो मेरे को मालूम हुआ कि महाराज इतने निकट प्रभुपाद जी के होते थे। तो जब मैं बम्बई में 1979 में जब बम्बई गया वृंदावन से, तो महाराज बम्बई में भक्ति विद्या इंस्टीट्यूट उन्होंने वहाँ स्थापना की थी, और प्रभुपाद ने स्पेशली तामल के महाराज को ऑर्डर दिया था कि जो ये है, जो सेकेंड फ्लोर है गेस्ट हाउस का, ये जो वैज्ञानिक साइंटिस्ट के लिए प्रदान करना चाहिए भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर, इसका जो है वो प्रचार करेंगे ये, क्योंकि हमारा ये बम्बई सिटी शहर जो है बहुत बड़ा है, सभी प्रकार के लोग यहाँ आ रहे हैं, सभी बड़े बड़े यूनिवर्सिटी सब कुछ है, तो यहाँ बहुत ज़रूरी है प्रचार करना। तो महाराज जो है प्रचार कर रहे थे वहाँ पर बहुत अच्छी तरह से। एक्चुअली जब भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज, तो फिर उसके बाद फिर 81, 82 में जब मैं वहाँ मेंबरशिप डायरेक्टर था, श्रीधर महाराज वहाँ के प्रेसिडेंट थे, तो उन्होंने तो कहा कि यहाँ कुछ मणिपुर के लिए, क्योंकि मणिपुर बहुत गरीब देश है, तो वहाँ पैसा नहीं है, हमको मंदिर बनाना है, प्रभुपाद का आदेश का पालन करना। तो फिर उन्होंने जो है ओके तो ठीक है, तो महाराज ने, प्रेसिडेंट ने कहा, श्रीधर महाराज ने, ठीक है आप आपके शिष्यों को यहाँ लगा दीजिए, 50% हम लोग रखेंगे, 50% आपका काम मणिपुर में जाएगा। तो फिर बाद में जो है एक सुदामा प्रभु जी थे, हाँ मणिपुर का है, वो भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर के शिष्य है। तो मैं मेंबरशिप डायरेक्टर था मेरा पार्टनरशिप महाराज ने लेके आए। सेकेंड प्रभु श्रीधर महाराज से हमने बातचीत कर ली है, तो इसको आप आपके डिपार्टमेंट में रखिए, ताकि ये कलेक्शन करेगा, इसका कलेक्शन जो है 50% मणिपुर को जाएगा, मणिपुर में हम लोग मंदिर बना रहे हैं। तो हमने बोला ठीक है। तो सुदामा प्रभु जी जो है मेरे साथ में पार्टनरशिप थे, तो उनका कलेक्शन मणिपुर में जाता था। तो बार बार एक्चुअली भक्ति स्वरूप महाराज मेरे को पूछते थे कि कैसे, हाउ इज सुदामा इज डूइंग, ओके, आई से यस महाराज राइट, सो यू शुड इंकरेज हिम, उसको जो है बताइए इस तरह से। तो महाराज हर समय हरे कृष्ण बोलते थे, उनके पास कोई घमंडी नहीं थी कि मैं इतना बड़ा भक्त हूँ, साइंटिस्ट हूँ, और ये दधी भक्त क्या छोटा डिवोटी है, साधारण भक्त है, तो इसको हम बात नहीं करें। नहीं, हर समय बोलते थे हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा, हाँ, इज लाइक साधारण डिवोटी तरह भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज हमसे बातचीत करते थे। उनका प्रेम बहुत, इनका प्रेम आकर्षित होता था। जब महाराज जय राधा माधव गाते थे, परम करुणा बहुत द्विजना निताय गौरचंद, इस तरह से जब महाराज गाते थे तो हमारा आँख अश्रुपात होता, इतना भाव बढ़ता था। जब गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिए, वैष्णव ठाकुर, ये सब भक्ति भावना पर जब महाराज गाते हैं तो उनका जो प्रेम है वो आकर्षित होता था। ऑटोमेटिकली ऐसा फीलिंग होता था कि मतलब भाव आपने आता था। तो महाराज के पास इतनी भक्ति थी, इतनी भक्ति थी, भक्ति की वह शक्ति होती है। तो इसलिए महाराज ने जो है इस तरह से सबके साथ प्रेम दिया। फिर बम्बई आए उन्होंने, एक बार जो मणिपुरी जो है जो डांस सबको कोटियाड में, हाँ, बम्बई कोटियाड में राधा रस बिहारी का प्रांगण में कोटियाड में एकदम बम्बई के मणिपुर के पूरे डांसर लेकर आए और सब ना हमको सबको जो है मणिपुरी पकड़ी पहनाया। महाराज ने अपना हाथ से खुद सिखाया कैसे पकड़ी पहनते हैं। हमारा मणिपुर का जो है ये आप लोग, हम जितने प्रभुपाद के हम लोग शिष्य थे बम्बई में, तो पकड़ी पहनाया। फिर उसका मणिपुरी फीस्ट, वेरी बिग फीस्ट, प्रसादम, अलग अलग आइटम, इतना बड़ा पॉट में ये वो सब, तो प्रसाद महाराज खिलाया सुंदरता से। इतना प्रेम, वैष्णव प्रेम उनके पास बहुत प्रेम था ये भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज के पास। तो ये कोई साधारण डिवोटी नहीं थे, ये प्रभुपाद जी के साक्षात प्रिय जो है शिष्यों में एक थे। तो इसीलिए आज उनका तिरुभाव तिथि है। इस तिथि के दिन भी उनके जितने शिष्य लोग हैं उनसे प्रार्थना करिए। उन्होंने जो प्रचार को जो उन्होंने बाकी रखा है, प्रचार के ये करने के लिए, साइंटिफिक प्रचार, तो आप उनका पूरा करने के लिए आप लोग प्रयास कीजिए। जैसे अभी उधर वहाँ पर किताब लगी हुई है साइंटिफिक। तो बम्बई में भी जब महाराज थे वहाँ, सो उनका स्पेशल जो है साइंटिफिक सब किताब बुक स्टॉल अलग रहता था, अलग। एवरी डे देर गो टीचिंग डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, कॉलेजेस, यूनिवर्सिटी, और फिर शाम को दोपहर को भक्ति वेदांत इंस्टीट्यूट के तरफ से बुक स्टॉल वहाँ लगती थी। अनेक वैज्ञानिक शास्त्र साइंटिस्ट बुक वहाँ बिक्री होती थी, प्रचार करते थे। भक्त लोग थे, आते थे मणिपुर से बहुत सारे बहुत लोग महाराज ने बुलाया था, प्रचार हो रहा था। तो इसी तरह से अभी भी वो ये प्रभुपाद बोले ये मूवमेंट जो है 10,000 वर्ष चलना चाहिए। तो इसीलिए तो उनके जो शिष्य लोग हैं, भक्ति स्वरूप महाराज दामोदर महाराज के जो शिष्य लोग हैं, तो उनको जो है ये इस अपने गुरु का मिशन को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एवरी टाउन एंड विलेज सब जगह जाकर साइंटिफिक प्रचार करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। ठीक है, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज की जय। थैंक यू। करताल बज गया, धन्यवाद।
सॉरी प्रभु जी, करताल बजाना पड़ा हमें, टाइम की पाबंदी है। थैंक यू वेरी मच। So now we will request His Grace Mukundata Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, to kindly come and say a few words.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Here in Vrindavan we come to worship the dust, to worship the cows, to worship the trees. All of them fulfill our desires, especially our spiritual desires. So it's stated also in a similar way that the devotees are the desire trees. They can fulfill all spiritual desires. If you want to go back to Godhead, all you need to do is get the blessings of great devotees. And Swarup Damodar Maharaj was one of those great stalwarts, maybe sent from the spiritual world, I think so, just to assist Srila Prabhupada in his great mission at a time that Srila Prabhupada needed help from persons exactly like himself. As we've heard already, Swarup Damodar Maharaj is very special, very gentle, very elegant, very intelligent, cultured, and spiritually inclined. He came across Srila Prabhupada somehow in Southern California when he was himself in the university, and he just took to it in such a way that nobody else could imagine, because he was already ripe for that purpose. That displays the importance of culture in preparing a ripe field to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness. He was one of the first of the cultivated, intelligent Indians who joined ISKCON, scientist, as we've heard. He was ISKCON's official scientist. And Srila Prabhupada, everyone loved him for that reason. Srila Prabhupada, I think, would not prioritize any other project as much as he did the Bhaktivedanta Institute. He was prepared to write any blank check at any time for any purpose that Swarup Damodar Maharaj wanted. There were other scientists. Some of them have somehow either left this world or trickled off somewhere, but Maharaj stayed on, and he continued with his great dedication to the lotus feet of his spiritual master throughout his entire life. Preaching, following the instructions that Srila Prabhupada gave him to preach Krishna consciousness and to establish that life comes from life. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine was Srila Prabhupada's mission, and Maharaj was a very important anga of Srila Prabhupada, that he could help to fulfill that mission in the early days of ISKCON. And we're so much eternally indebted to him for that example, if for nothing else. What to speak of all those whose lives he touched with Krishna consciousness, people who would otherwise probably never have come in contact with Krishna consciousness, being hardcore scientists, physicists, etc. When I was in school, one scientist came and gave a presentation there. His name was Dr. Fritjof Capra. He wrote a book called The Tao of Physics. He was a physicist, and he was an up-and-coming person in the scientific community at that time. But Maharaj would preach to such persons. George Wald, I don't know if anyone here knows, but he must have met George Wald at some point, I would think. And so that was a great contribution to ISKCON. Another very sterling quality that Maharaj had was that he was culturally astute, he was very sensitive, and he was very artistic. And he, in many ways, he introduced the Western world to Gaudiya Vaishnava fine arts, performing arts, in the form especially of Ranganiketan, dance troupe, Manipuri dance. As Dina Bandhu Prabhu said, we were so overjoyed. Every year we're overjoyed on this day to see Radha Shyamsundar dressed in such wonderful Manipuri outfits. You can almost hear the ringing of the pung and the clashing of the kartals when you see them. And you can anticipate Gras Leela. So this was Maharaj's contribution. And I saw many performances of Ranganiketan, but one time in particular I remember it was so powerful that most of the audience, just upon seeing the sheer grace and beauty, what to speak of devotees who could understand something of the content of that performance, most of the audience actually was moved to tears. I saw it. Such a powerful presentation of Krishna consciousness. When we talk about the theory of Krishna consciousness, or we write books in 2 dimensions about Krishna consciousness, that's very powerful katha, but when you add the element of music, which introduces an emotional component, and especially when you add the component of abhinaya, drama, it makes the message so much more powerful. And Maharaj understood this. And really preaching means, in essence, to somehow or other communicate Krishna consciousness from the heart of someone who practices it into the heart of someone who has not yet taken it up. And Maharaj was empowered, I would say, to do this as well on the intellectual platform, also on the artistic platform. Even on a personal level, Maharaj was such a gentleman and so refined in all of his characteristics that he could not but attract so many people. He had such charisma. Although he had a very humble demeanor, meek and humble, a typical Gaudiya Vaishnava character, but he was very powerful at the same time. I remember once I saw him in Dallas, Texas, of all places. You don't expect to see humble people in Texas, but we saw Maharaj was chanting his japa, and he looked up and saw us looking at him, and he just shook his bead bag and said, Hare Krishna! Little bit like Dari Bhaksha Prabhu. But he was very, very strong in his determination and internally very powerful and dedicated to, well, how else can we put it? But in the words of Narottam Das Thakur, Guru Mukha Padma Bhakva Chite Te Kori Aika, Aruna Kori Homani Asha. Enough said. That Maharaj was very fixed on the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. I'm sure Srila Prabhupada was and remains very proud of his dedicated disciple. And he did so much service for this movement and for the world, even outside of ISKCON. And so it's a great privilege for us and a great bliss also for us to come together and glorify something of his transcendental qualities. Hare Krishna. To glorify something of his transcendental qualities. And we humbly bow down at his lotus feet and we pray in this way. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyaivacha patitanam papanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, His Grace Mukundata Prabhu. Now, time for Mataji's. I will invite Her Grace Jaganmohini Mataji. So we have about 10 minutes, and so after Mataji, Ishwar Prabhu. So 2 speakers. So 5 minutes each.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. On this auspicious occasion of Tirubhav of our Guru Maharaj, I offer my prostrated humble obeisances at his lotus feet and also our prostrated humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. What is striking to me over recent years is how Prabhupada made Sripad Maharaj the leader of the Bhakti-Vedanta Institute mission. I always reflected on that. He had said, you may be knowing that we have formed one party of scientists under the leadership of Sriman Swarup Damodar Prabhu. Also, we have formed the Bhakti-Vedanta Institute for Organic Scientific Presentation in Krishna Consciousness. So, I just came to know sometime back, few months back, that Prabhupada also wanted, besides Brahminical initiation, even Kshatriya initiation after the first. So I always wondered how there were many PhDs, but Sripad Maharaj was chosen as the leader. It's not academic qualifications. It has to do with, first, one must be a Vaishnava. So Prabhupada had made this facility that he wanted for the future. This is what we heard from Daivi Varnashrama Ministry, ISKCON, that Prabhupada wanted after first initiation either Brahminical or Kshatriya initiation. So what unique qualities which captured us was Guru Maharaj's truthfulness, purity, tapasya and inclusiveness. So here I would like to recall one of the instructions, discussions which he had with one of his senior disciples. He said, Guru Maharaj had said, after Srila Shripad's departure, that all disciples of Srila Prabhupada should be invited to Sri Mayapur and together discuss the next steps instead of a small group in control. That there should be 2 years pause to meditate on Srila Prabhupada's instructions before any major instructions are taken. So this is a very strong message. This is just not only for Prabhupada's contemporaries, it's also for his Prabhupada's disciples. Sripad's Guru Maharaj's disciples. So this one quality of tapasya, which one must undertake before doing any major decision taking. We see when it has happened when Brahma created this cosmology, and after he received the instruction, there was tapasya, and then only everything got manifested. So for Sripad Maharaj, he was very clear that without having grounded in purity and truthfulness and tapasya, it is not possible to just exhibit a leadership and then try to take control. And this is what he had expressed. And besides this tapasya, other things I would like to talk about is purity and inclusiveness. How inclusive he was. This Bhaktivedanta Institute is not Guru Maharaj's mission, no. It is an inclusive mission where all can participate. And Sripad Maharaj demonstrated this, because if we can understand that Prabhupada planted a wonderful seed in the Western world, but India, it was very difficult. We all know in India the complexity of the Hinduism, and they are so, they will support Hare Krishna movement, everything fine, but it is very difficult actually to convince them and transform them. So the route was through intellectual pathway, and this is where Sripad Maharaj planted the seed right from 1977 World Congress at Vrindavan and 86 Bombay, 1997 Calcutta and so on. And many were influenced. If today in the Hare Krishna movement, Indian intellectuals became part of the Hare Krishna movement, entire credit go to Sripad Maharaj. It is right from, it has not happened otherwise, because Prabhupada struggled in India, no doubt. So Guru Maharaj's that inclusive approach and the tapasya, the purity, this purity is what is influencing, and he was not possessive. Today he said that it is not about how many centers we make or how many followers we have or how much wealth we have generated. It's about how much purified we become, purification. So we see that so many intellectuals became part of different servants of Prabhupada, and Guru Maharaj did not encourage them, but he wanted that they understand the scientific mission in the right way. And today we see all the campuses in India, college preaching, all are happening. This is due to Guru Maharaj's effort, Sripad Maharaj's effort, there is no doubt. And this is why he became an inclusive sort of Acharya for Bhakti Institute. So we seek his blessings. In fact, Prabhupada has given very much importance to Bombay Bhakti Institute, and somehow he had been merciful to us. He has given us to oversee his BI center in Mumbai, and we want his blessings. He had always blessed his approach of transforming, especially in the Indian community, something to be learned in the present time in India. So because I recall, like, we were cultivating so many of them, and it was very difficult, from the Hindu background. But just Guru Maharaj's association, Sripad Maharaj's association transformed so many, and he became the root. Sripad Maharaj became the root for many of them to take shelter of so many other Bhagavatas of our society. And we are really indebted that he was very merciful to us, that all those whom we cultivated, he gave them special association, and they all are really doing very well all over the world and India, many of them. And we have many of our colleagues over here, including Shriram Pandit Prabhu, and all are there, and of course Shyam Chandra Prabhu. So he was very concerned, and this is what I consider his special mercy. So today we beg at his lotus feet that whatever responsibility he has given us for his BI mission, we want to take his insights on purity, tapasya, inclusiveness and truthfulness. And he was not a leader of belonging to duplicity or cheating or cunning. And we look forward for such leaders in our society so that the mission can grow in the right direction. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Jagan Mohini Mataji. Now it's about 1:10, so we have one speaker, last speaker of the day for the afternoon. His Grace Ishwar Prabhu.
Gurave Gurachandraya, Radhikatadalaya, Krishnaya, Krishna Bhaktaya, Tadbhaktaya Namo Nama, Vanchakapatrubhyascha Kripaschindi Vivacha Patitana Pavanavibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So it's very special occasion that we are observing the disappearance of Srila Bhakti-yoga Damodar Maharaj. I was there in 2006 when Maharaj passed away in Calcutta. So it's a great Vaishnava, very dear devotee of the Lord, very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And Maharaj, he was such a highly recognized person within the society of ISKCON. So as mentioned in the Upanishad, that Vidyan Chavidyan Chayas Ta Vidobhyam Saha Avidyaya Mrityam Tivya Vidyaya Mrityam Masnute. That a person who can learn the process of nations and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. So basically a person who can study the science of material science and the spiritual science side by side. And this is exactly what Maharaj did. Not only was he an accomplished scientist in terms of material elements and all that, he was also a spiritual scientist. And Maharaj was, and of course, being a spiritual scientist, actually totally triumphed the materialistic scientific knowledge which he had. And through this, he was able to influence so many scientists. He was able to influence them through the culture of Krishna consciousness, like the Symposium of Science and Religion, which Maharaj will coordinate a few times. And I was in San Francisco when he was organizing some back in the 80s. So, and of course, Maharaj being a great spiritual scientist, being a sadhu, that when one see him in all his devotional endeavors, such as the Manipuri culture, which is Vaishnavism culture, one will be surprised that such a person is actually a great learned person. I remember in San Francisco during the Rath Yatra, when Maharaj would be there on the stage, he would be dressed up in a very Manipuri garb, and then he will be singing and be coordinating the Manipuri dancers. So one will be amazed that such a person, one will be thinking that he's an ordinary person. But he was dedicated to that culture. So Maharaj, he had many significant contributions to his society. And of course was very, very dear to Srila Prabhupada. I remember when I was started book distribution, and when we had to preach to the students, when we had to preach to the students. So the two books, which was very, very significant, was this book, The Life Comes from Life, which was conversation between Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, and also the scientific basis of Krishna consciousness. These two books, because actually was great book that helped us in terms of preaching to the student community, the universities and all that. So anyway, I'm very, very fortunate myself that I have some little bit of interaction with Maharaj. And Maharaj was also he was very passionate. He was very, very simple in his dealings. He was not He was never crooked. He was very, very simple. As they say, simplicity is Vaishnavism. He never regarded anyone, even though I know he was treated very badly actually by the management in the ISKCON. But Maharaj was very, very simple in his dealings. He was very simple. You know, he was very. I know that in the last few years before he passed away, when he would organize this, the recognition in society, well, every Mayapur festival, we had this recognition of devotees, whereby we give award in a various type of excellences in the field. It can be Sankirtan, different fields, whereby we will have devotees to get devotees to be recognized in their particular field of endeavors. So Maharaj was doing that. And also he was encouraging peacefulness, peaceful dialogues with other religions. He was a member of interfaith religion and all that. So part of his many of his qualities. So anyway, thank you very much for everyone to be here, that we're able to hear something about Maharaj and be able to say something about his qualities. Yes, let's Damodar Maharaj ki, Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Ishwar Prabhu. So Maharaj had some other plans, Sripad Maharaj. We thought we are ending with Ishwar Prabhu, but it will not end unless His Grace, Sarvabhauma Prabhu, gives his last word. The glorification that His Grace Swarup Prabhu gave last year is still ringing in our minds. That was the impact, Prabhu, you had in our hearts.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Sripad Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Vitai Gaur Premanande. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada wanted his preaching to be in the classes and masses. For classes, he wanted intellectual preaching in scientific world. And for the masses, he wanted bullock cart preaching in villages and towns. So, it's the plan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of his Sankirtan movement, that Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj was his leader for preaching to the classes, to the intellectual world, to the scientific circle. So this was the bird fly with two wings, and Srila Prabhupada's Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was two wings. He wanted preaching in masses and preaching in classes. So for classes, so Damodar Maharaj was chosen by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to assist Srila Prabhupada in his preaching worldwide to the intellectual people. Maharaj was sweet Kirtaniya, and his typical Manipuri style of Kirtan was a great boon in 2001 Kumbh Mela at Prayagraj, where he came with 2 buses full of Manipuri devotees and having a ecstatic kirtan throughout the Kumbh Mela area, and it was in all newspaper, and I have all those cuttings still with me. There was the excellent kirtan ever had been in Kumbh Melas. I think Dinmandu Prabhu will remember that. And at that time, Maharaj wanted that we can have a scientific conference in Kumbh Mela. And in our pandal, we have a scientific conference. We invited the scientists from the different colleges and universities at Prayagraj. And then the another interaction which I had personally with Maharaj was when Maharaj just saw me in Delhi. He said, Sarvama, so Maharaj, Dandvat Pranam, say I'm going to Pakistan. Maharaj, but I'm going to Lahore. Maharaj, Lahore kyun ja rahe? There's a scientific conference. What do you think? I should go in a saffron or should wear the pant and shirt? Maharaj asked me, kaise jaun? Pant pehn ke jaun ke dhoti mein jaun? Sannyasi ki. And then Maharaj decided, well, it's a scientific conference, it's better to go in as a scientist. But still it is better to go in dhoti also. So Maharaj is one of the few Prabhupada's leaders who dare to go to Pakistan and preach. And Srila Prabhupada was very pleased with those who actually dared to go to Pakistan. Maharaj was in a conference, scientific conference at Lahore. For almost 1 month, we had a wonderful mercy and association of Maharaj in Bangalore. Maharaj came for nature cure treatment at Jindal Nature Cure Center, Yoga and Nature Cure Center. And for almost 1 month, it was every day a feast for the soul for us, having darshan of Maharaj and his association and wonderful instruction which have come now, a garland of instructions by Maharaj. So this was a wonderful opportunity we had to associate and appreciate and serve Maharaj's vision and mission. Even Prabhupada wanted Saudana Maharaj here next to our old Gurukul building, here to have this BIE center for scientists. He wanted this center to be established in Vrindavan. And this, the last plot which was next to the Gurukul, where we used to, this plot as the parking place. This place, actually Prabhupada wanted Saudana Maharaj to start the scientific preaching from here. So Saudana Maharaj's contribution in his small book earlier about the science and spirituality, the beginning, he was one of the highly educated disciple of Srila Prabhupada in those days. He was doctorate, PhD already in the sciences. So Prabhupada selected him for that preaching. And the BIA, which is Prabhupada's brainchild, was actually nourished, nurtured and well established in India as well as overseas under the guidance of Saudana Swami Maharaj. So on this auspicious day for us to get the blessing of Maharaj and his causeless mercy, his Tirubhav Tithi, which is painful for the Vaishnava, because separation from Vaishnava is very only painful thing in this material world. But this is the day where we can beg mercy from Maharaj, that we can just assist him in Srila Prabhupada's service, maybe 1%, 2%, according to our capability or our efforts in preaching to the classes, which is most important. And I was thinking, as we have IYF, I'm conceiving for a couple of years that we should have ISKCON royal form. All the old kings before British rule or during British rule, all the kings are still there. They have the highest, biggest properties, and they are the still most influential peoples. So we can have ISKCON royal form, which will be also preaching to the classes, scientists and classes, and masses. These both are most important. We are actually in between. Still, we have not reached to the good limit in both masses and classes. So we beg Maharaj's mercy that his mission of preaching to the intellectual and classes, scientific world, he should bless that we can assist his service to Srila Prabhupada. Savdama Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.
Please, big round of applause for our dear Sarvabhauma Prabhuji. Thanks to Prabhuji's preaching in Pakistan, I think Pakistan is doing very well in Krishna consciousness. We see a lot of updates even of Rath Yatra in Pakistan. Hari Bol. So, we are just about on time, and we thank each and every speaker, especially Srila Prabhupada disciples who came forward and shared their wonderful thoughts about our beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Shripad Maharaj, and then we could immerse ourselves with Maharaj's pastimes, Leela, and how he, most of the thing people said about his qualities. So it was very, very nice and refreshing for all of us. Now I would invite His Holiness Atmaniya Swami Maharaj to kindly come and maybe give us a final word of what Maharaj. Want to say something, Maharaj? Please come. And after this, there will be Pushpanjali. And before, of course, I give to Maharaj, once again a small reminder on this book, on the Garland of Instruction. Whoever has not yet received it, please collect your copy. It is free. 108 instructions, golden instructions by Sripad Maharaj in different languages. Okay?
Om Jnana Trimandandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshus Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So of course we all know why we are here today. We are celebrating the 18th Disappearance Day of Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, and there are quite a lot of disciples are here, quite a lot of well-wishers here, friends. So I would like to thank all of you for coming here. Every year we are holding this festival to honor Srila Shripad Maharaj, and not just honor him, but to remember him, that he showed a perfect way to become a devotee. As we all heard from so many different wonderful speakers who had first-hand experience with Shripad Maharaj in his early days in Los Angeles as a student of science, and then he met Prabhupada, and then after that Prabhupada instructed him to preach and utilize his knowledge of science to convince the scientific world about the science of Krishna consciousness. So it's very nice that we get together here and remember him and honor him. But that is not just enough. We actually have to learn from him. All great Vaishnavas who have dedicated their lives to assist Srila Prabhupada in this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to also learn and say how we can become as great as that, if not even greater. Otherwise, we will be a failure in our endeavor to become Krishna conscious. So, all of us, we can learn a lot of things from all these great Vaishnavas. For me personally, being as a disciple of Bhakti-Swarup Damodar Maharaj, I feel very greatly honored that he accepted me as his disciple, although I'm not worthy of being a disciple. But he was very kind and he accepted me and he gave me many personal instructions. So I, in my own life, I'm trying to follow in such a way that I will be a credit to him rather than being discredit to him. Because a disciple is only as good as how a good credit he can show himself as. Or in other words, is saying, tree is judged by the fruit. So if the fruits are very sweet, then the tree is considered very great. So similarly, the spiritual master is considered great if his disciples become equally great. But if his disciples are not great, even though the spiritual master is great, we are doing great disservice to him. So in the same mood, we should all try to remember that these festivals of honoring great personalities, especially today, Srila Guru Maharaj, and of course, slowly we are finding now in our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, lots and lots of great Vaishnavas who have dedicated their lives to Srila Prabhupada are now coming to the maturity in their age, and slowly one by one they are departing this modern world, and more will be observing so many Tirobhavs that will be probably will come to stage there will be one Tirobhav every day. So it's an opportunity for us to learn to become great in terms of following in the footsteps of these great personalities. And if we follow in their footsteps, then obviously we will become equally great. Of course, nobody wants, at least in a Vaishnava culture, we don't want to become great. We want to become servant of the servant of the servant. But then even when you become the greatest servant of the servant of the servant, the byproduct of that is by Krishna's grace that Krishna glorifies you. Just like Krishna saying to Arjuna, that you fight this battle. But if you don't fight, it is okay. I can finish all these people who are irreligious within a second. But I want you to do this so that you can be glorified. So similarly, all of us who have come to this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is simply by the grace of Krishna and Prabhupada. And we should be always showing our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada and his followers and becoming perfect in our lives. So that is the goal. If we do not become perfect, then we are just simply a parasite hanging around and wasting our life when we're waiting for next birth. I don't think anybody wants to come back in this material world again. So please take this note that we learn from, at least today we are honoring Bhakti-Swarup Damodar Maharaj, that we learn from his life how much he dedicated his entire energy for preaching Krishna consciousness as per Prabhupada's direction. So we are also very fortunate that we can engage in the similar spirit to serve Srila Prabhupada. So on that note I will stop because we have to now perform the end of our ceremony today to offer Puspanjali in gratitude to Srila Sripad Guru Maharaj. And after that, in his honor, all the Vaishnavas will be fed very nice feast, which was his very dear desire. He always wanted to make sure that when there is a program, there must be a sumptuous, good feast. And everybody should be fed very nicely. And when you are fed nicely, you will remember that yes, this person's program I went, they gave very nice prasadam. You may not remember all the glorifications, all the speakers who spoke very nicely, very eloquently, but prasadam you will remember. So let's hope today you will have wonderful prasadam on behalf of our Guru Maharaj and get his blessings. And hopefully you will all be encouraged to come back next year. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Sripad Guru Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hari Bol.